For today's lesson, we'll be covering questions 6, 7 and 8 of our revision exercise 2. So question 6 is about simplification. We often handle simplification of fractions by cancelling. When we say cancelling, we are actually referring to dividing both numerator and denominator by the same number. So I'll be attempting the questions in red. Your job is to follow the lesson, copy down my workings, and then do the remaining questions for 6, 7, and 8. So I'll start with 6b. Now we have 14 times a times b times c divided by 21 times a times c. So when we want to simplify this, we divide both numerator and denominator by whatever factor that is the same. So here we can deal with the numbers first. We will compare 14 and 21. Now 14 over here is made up of 2 times 7. This 21 is made up of 3 times 7. So we see that there is a common factor of 7 in both of them. So if I were to divide 14 by 7, I'll be left with 2. If I divide by 21 by 7, I'm left with 3. So the numerator on top will be a value of 2 multiplied by a, multiplied by b, multiplied by c. In the denominator, we have 3 multiplied by a, multiplied by c. So to make things neater, we just cancel this, divide by 7, left with 2, divide by 7, left with 3. Now besides dividing by 7, we can also divide by a. A is common to both numerator and denominator. Besides that, we can also divide by c, which is common to both of them. So in the numerator, we are left with 2 times of b. In the denominator, we simply have 3. And that is the answer for part B. So moving on now to part C, there is something very important that you need to take note of. In the denominator, it is 8 multiplied by, you see this bracket over here, r plus s, they lie inside the bracket. So we have to consider r plus s as combined together. You cannot separate them and try and cancel this r in the denominator and this r in the numerator. These two cannot be cancelled because this r lies inside this bracket. We can only cancel factors that are common. Okay, factors will be, for example, factor of 16 is 2 and 8. So over here in the denominator, we've also got 8. So we can cancel this 16. If we divide by 8, we are left with 2. Divide this by 8, we are left with 1. So in the numerator, we have 2r divided by, now 1 times r is r, 1 times s is s. So this is r plus s. Notice that I have removed the bracket. This is our final answer over here. I will say again, it is very tempting for us to cancel these two r, but this will be wrong. And I will prove it with the following example, yeah? Okay, so if we have 2 times of 3 divided by 3 plus 5, for example. So here I've replaced r with 3, I've replaced s with 5. Okay, we can do this with our calculator, or we can do it even without our calculator. Here we have 6 over 8, which is the same as 3 over 4. That is if we simplify it. Now we know that this is definitely correct. However, if we try to cancel, okay, so here we have 2 multiplied by 3. It is the same question. If we try and cancel the 3's, okay, over here, this 3 and this 3. If we cancel it, we will have 2 over 5. which we know is definitely wrong. So we are unable to cancel these two 3's even though they are common, and the reason is because this 3 is not a factor. It is a 3 plus, it is not a 3 times. Okay, so right now please try question 6a. Now for question 7, again we are simplifying. So we have seen in question 6, when we have a single fraction, something divided by something, we can cancel away. Effectively, we are dividing whatever is common in the numerator and denominator. But now we have two fractions multiplied together with each other. Now recap of our primary school mathematics. When you have things like 3 over 5 multiplied by 15 over 12, for example, we know that we can simplify this before we start calculating. Okay, we can either divide this way, so we're left with 5. When we divide by 3, we're left with 5 over here. We divide by 3, we're left with 4. Besides cancelling this way, we can also consider cancelling this way. So our final answer will be simply 3 over 4. Now in the exact same question, we're going to use the exact same question as an example. Okay, going to write here at the bottom, 3 over 5 multiplied by 15 over 12. Besides just cancelling this way, 5 and 4 and then 5 and 5, we can also cancel diagonally. So this 3 and 12, if we both divide by 3, I'm left with 1 here, I'm left with 4. If I cancel this way diagonally, divide by 5, left with 3, divided by 5, divide by 5, left with 1, divided by 5, left with 3. So our answer will be 1 times 3, which is 3, divided by 1 times 4, which is 4. These two answers are the same, and it should be the same. Okay, so use this approach for part A and part B by yourself. Remember, we can cancel top and bottom. We can also consider diagonally if possible. So right now, I am going to do question C. Remember, we only can cancel whatever are common factors, both in a numerator and denominator. And if we want to go diagonally, we have to cancel also whatever is common. So let's start. I have a few options I can start with. First, I can compare top and bottom over here. Whatever is common, cancel them. So we look, okay, there's nothing in common. Let's move on. We can consider whatever is common here, top and bottom. If there is anything that is common, cancel. Okay, so looking at this, we've got a 3 and a 6, where I can divide by 3, and I'll be left with 1. Divide by 3, and left with 2. Besides this, I can also consider cancelling diagonally. So here, diagonal, this is 1r. In the denominator, there is 5r. So what is common over here is the r term, is the r over there. So I've cancelled that away. We are dividing both numerator and denominator by r. So what I have left is 1 over here and a 5 here. Okay. Now moving on, let us consider the other diagonal. Okay, early on there was a 2 over here. Right, so now I've got a 3 and a 2. These two are the numbers. They cannot be cancelled. However, I see a A plus B. This is a A plus B. These two, they belong in brackets. They are the same. It is 3 multiplied by A plus B as a whole. In the denominator here, I've got 2 multiplied by A plus B as a whole. So let's cancel the a plus b totally. So let us take a step back, look at whatever is left in the numerator. Numerator is whatever is on top. 3 times cancel off times 1, that is simply 3, divided by 5 times 2, which is 10. This is our answer. Finally, for question 8, this time instead of simply 2 fractions multiplied together, we're going to introduce something which is a division sign. Okay, so I will be going through part C as well as part A. You will be doing part B. So I'll start with the easier one first. Now 14a over 12b divided by 2a over 3b. First thing we do is to keep the left hand side, 14a over 12b. We change the sign from division to multiplication. The final fraction, 2a over 3b, we're going to flip it. So 2a was on top, now 2a goes below. 3b was bottom, 3b comes on top. And then it is the same type of question as question 7. We're going to try and cancel away whatever is common. So I'll start with the first fraction. I see 14 and 12. I can divide both of them by 2. Dividing this by 2, left with 7. Dividing this by 2, left with 6. I'm going to look at the other fraction. 3b over 2a. There is nothing in common. I cannot cancel. Now I'm going to go diagonal. So let's start with this diagonal. I've got 3b on top. I've got 6b at the bottom. b and b are common. Let's cancel them. When I say cancel, I'm dividing both numerator and denominator by b. I see a 3 and a 6. We can divide this by 3. I divide this by 3, I'm left with 2. So for the second fraction, the numerator is now 1. Okay, so continue with the other diagonal. I've got a 7a on top, a 2a at the bottom. Only the a's are common. So now in our numerator, in summary, we've got 7 multiplied by 1, which is 7, divided by, let's look at the denominator, 2, nothing left, times 2, which is 4. This is the answer. Finally, part C. Again, we see a division. So we will keep 3a times a plus b over 5b, change the division to multiplication. Now I want to flip this. However, this is not a fraction. How do I flip something that is not a fraction? Simple, we just put it over 1. Because anything divided by 1 is still the same. For example, 5 is the same as 5 over 1. 21 is the same as 21 over 1. So today we have 2a, a plus b on the right side. It is the same as 2a, a plus b over 1. So now I'm going to flip this fraction. It becomes 1 over 2a, a plus b. After flipping, let us consider the fraction on the left. First, let's look at the numbers. 3 and 5, there is nothing in common. No common factor, cannot cancel. Then we've got multiplied by a. Now the denominator has no a, nothing to cancel. In the numerator, we've got a plus b. A plus b, it comes as a whole. You cannot separate a and b. They are together inside a bracket. Therefore, you cannot cancel this b and this b. Okay, this b is not a factor in the numerator. It is part of a plus b. Okay, let's move on. Fraction on the right, nothing to cancel. Time to consider diagonal. Again, nothing to cancel here. But now, take a look at this. 3 and 2. Okay, we cannot cancel. Now A and A, they are common, let's cancel them. Look, we've got A plus B as a combined whole. In the denominator, we have the same A plus B. They are both in fractions. Now both of these can be cancelled together. So in summary, whatever is on our numerator is 3 times 1, which is 3. In the denominator, we've got 5b times 2, which is 10b. And this is our answer. So please complete questions 6, 7, and 8. Okay, you only have one question over here, 2, 3, and 4 questions to finish. This will be due today, 10 p.m. Once you're done with this, you can look back at your workbook on the topics of simplification. Go and look through your corrections again and make sure you learn from there. This will be tested during weighted assessment number 2 once we come back after our home-based learning.